Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Fine, thanks, and you?
I have
Okay.
to put my earphones on. So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Are you ready to start now, or?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, everyone.
So, to my followers at home, the reason behind creating such a platform, as I've never addressed this, but is actually to address societal problems, killing old habits and ways of thinking, as well as with all of this, addressing the youth, by finding people with success stories to motivate us, as well as to show us different ways of pursuing our passion and creating ways of being economically free. Thus, today, I welcome the queen of the kitchen, cooking
Hi,
with
thank you.
Zanele. Zanele van Zyl. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm
Hi,
good, thanks.
everyone.
And
Good.
Zanele is a chef and author of a book. She is famously known for cooking with Zanele. She's also
Yes.
She's also a graduate from Wits University. So how has the lockdown been for you recently?
Well, days are not the same. Sometimes you feel okay, sometimes it's hard. It's not nice to be home all the time doing one thing over and over, cook, eat, sleep, cook, eat, sleep. But yeah, we're getting used to it. I think we're even starting to like our spaces, and yeah, we love it.
So, Mrs. Van Zyl, tell me, not many people know this, but you have a diploma in IT from Wits University. So my question to you is, what influenced your decision from working with computers and algorithms to becoming a chef?
Well, when we grow up, everyone wants to do what the next person is doing. We're still young. We can't really think what exactly we want. We just come out of school and then you hear IT, you hear this, you hear this, and then you also want to do it. But my scenario, I was not sure what I was doing. I just wanted to do something and get working and earn some money. And then I realized later that it was not really what I wanted to do. I was not passionate, but I did it because I had to earn a living. And a few years later, or I will say 6-8 years later, I decided that was really not my passion. And then I changed. I went to a culinary school, and then the rest was history.
Zanele, in October 2018, you published your first cookbook. Tell me, what difficulties did you occur when it came to publishing or advertising your book?
Being a self-publisher is very hard because each and every cent has to come out of your pocket. And there's a lot you have to do. You have to source a graphic designer. You have to pay the lawyer for copyrights. You have to pay the photographer. You have to pay for printing. You have to pay for someone to do the layout or to do the content for you. It's not easy. I tried so many publishers to publish my book. I was always rejected that people of my color don't buy books or they don't read. Who am I? We don't know you. Who's going to buy your book? We cannot publish you and waste our time and all. So I decided to do it my own. And it actually went, and the book was very well received. So yeah, it's been a very good success.
So could you share with some of our viewers where they can get your book as well? Your cookbook.
Unfortunately, like I said, that if you are your own publisher, it's very hard because every cent is coming from your pocket. I'm working on the second book now. The plan is to print both the books because it makes a lot of sense to print a lot of copies at once, it becomes cheaper. So now if I were to go and print like 1.5 copies, I will have to pay something like 100 and something thousand. But if I print something like 5,000 copies, it will be the same amount of money with a lot of books that I'll be printing. So I've decided to not to print this one now, just to print at once with the second book. Otherwise, you can get it on exclusive books, Take a Lot, and from me.
Okay.
Yes.
Mrs. Van Zyl, tell me, since you grew up in Bergville, what challenges did you face in terms of achieving the success you now have? What did you have to overcome to get to where you are?
Nothing. I didn't have to overcome anything. I always tell people that it helps to be yourself. You don't have to worry about the background, that you grew up walking barefoot, you grew up sleeping on the floor, you grew up not having cheese in your fridge, or not even having a fridge for that matter. So it's all about the individual. It's all about you. It's all about what you want to achieve in life. It's got nothing to do with your background or who you know and all. So I always knew I wanted to better myself, regardless of my background. I always wanted to try and make things work for myself.
Oh, I see. So how did you, as Zanele, manage to grow your brand Cooking with Zanele to be as well known as it is?
Well known.
Well, it is well known.
I would say it helps to be consistent. You have to be there. To show people that you want this and you believe in yourself. You believe that you can do this. So I think it helps to be consistent. You always push. You just tell people, I'm here. I want to do this. See me. And then people eventually. But your work must also speak for you, for people to like it or just to follow it.
Agreed.
Yes.
With you traveling to many provinces to host cooking classes, are there any challenges that you face, like fatigue or being homesick, etc.? Any of that stuff?
It's quite challenging with me, with kids and the husband. But I think it also helps that I have the support from my family. It gets too much at times, but it's just one night away from home and then I'm back the following day. So it doesn't really trouble us that much because it's just one night and then I'm back home. And their support also helps so I don't feel the load and the stress.
And with the economy expected to shrink and inflation expected to rise, could you share any difficulties you might have when it comes to buying your goods or selling your services, as people might not be able to access them easily as they could? I've seen also recently on your Instagram post that you have posted quite a bit of African food, not all the time, but recently you have posted. So is this another way you're trying to engage with people to access affordable food?
Okay, I will say I'm very fortunate that I can still do my work on social media. I can cook live, I can share recipes, I can do the brand's work. So for me, it doesn't really hurt that much because I can still work. I can still do what I'm doing in any normal day. It's just that I cannot do cooking classes, but I can still do a video for a brand and post it on social media. And so for me, it doesn't really hurt that much that I'm not making a living at this critical time. So I am working, and and I also try to share recipes for those who are home, for them to also try the recipes to cook, because if I'm not giving classes, then it means I don't give recipes away, but I try to share my recipes on social media.
And my other question to you is, how can the youth break away from the old mindset of seeking for employment rather than creating employment, or creating platforms such as yours in which where you use your talents to make money for yourself or to live on or depend on to put bread and butter on the table for your family?
Okuhle, I'll say it starts with an individual. It starts with you as a person to believe in yourself, to say, I will do this. I want to do this. Because if you must make people believe in you. If you do not believe in yourself, no one will believe in you. So you have to know that I want to do this. And then when you go out and say, start knocking at the doors for sponsorship or for whatever that you might want. So I think it's time that our young ones, or I'll say maybe upcoming chefs, or whoever, but I'll speak about my industry, culinary.
Yes.
I will say it is not every chef that must go and work for someone, go and work at the hotel or at the restaurant. There are a lot of things that can be done. Food is wild. Food is now a lifestyle. Everyone wants to eat beautiful food. Everyone wants to try new recipes. Food is a lifestyle. There is a lot that can be done with food, and you can do it. If you want to be a chef and you want to be unique, you don't want to be the next Cooking with Zanele. You can just be yourself and do it the way you want it without being somebody next to you.
You have also spoken about making your brand a global brand. How do you plan on executing this mammoth task that is possible to achieve even with a personality such as yours?
I'm still busy working on those, on being international with my manager. She's busy helping me with that. Like my next book is also going to be on Amazon, and I've been contacted with an international company to do their Zoom cooking class towards the end of this year. So it is happening slowly. It is happening.
And then just before we move on with some of the questions that I have, we've got questions from the viewers. One of the viewers asked the question saying, Zanele, have you explored the Blue Jeans app for cooking classes?
No, I haven't. It sounds like a good idea. I will actually look at it, Mbali. Thank you so much for suggesting. I will look at it. I haven't tried it.
And now back to the interview. Is there any new books, or well, you did speak about the books though, but any new equipment, cooking equipment that you're planning on releasing? Because I've seen that on your website, you have sold your Scotch apron and such equipment. Yes.
Sure, for
Do you
now,
have any other equipment that you want to release?
Not at the moment. I'm busy concentrating on my next book. I want to better it. I want it to be better than the first book. So all my eyes are on the book. So for now, I'm really concentrating on the book. I don't have anything yet that I'm thinking of. I'm only busy with the second book.
Lastly, could you share any quick recipes some of us can try during this lockdown to better our skills?
You are pushing it, yes? What matter? Why didn't you warn me? If you want a recipe, because it's winter now, maybe a soup, boil your bones, and then you can add any vegetable, and then salt and pepper, because your bones already flavored the soup. So yeah, that's easy enough.
We're tired of cooking. I'm a vegetable soup. You want to be fancy.
I guess I'm adding beans. Bali, it's very hard for me as a self-publisher to have an electronic book because you guys are sharing too much. So it has to, once I have that book, then the next what will stop the next person to share it to another person for free, and then I'll lose. So I can't. I will never even look at it. Yes.
And then one question from Zanele 2243: where can we get the books?
Zanele, the books will be available in all exclusive books. I'm hoping by towards the end of the year, between October and November. Both of them.
And sorry.
No, my battery was complaining. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Lastly, to all our viewers, please don't forget to follow us on all various social media platforms such as Instagram at Kuhlekwethu_Maseko, as well as at 24 News with Kuhle. I was your host today. Thank you, Zanele for joining us today.
The pleasure is
really, it has been a pleasure.
Mine. Stay home, stay safe, cook.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.